these are my friends. Come along with me, see how the story ends.
This episode is brought to you by testkitplus.com. We all know how important it is to prioritize your health and well-being, especially when it comes to recreational activities. That's why we want to tell you about our buddies over there. They can be your go-to resource for high-quality, easy-to-use recreational test kits. Whether you're planning a weekend getaway, attending a music festival, or just having a good time with your friends, it's really important to make sure you know what you're putting into your body. So head on over to testkitplus.com/professional hippies. That way you can be sure you're safe and you have the peace of mind of what you're putting in your body. They have test kits designed to detect a wide range of substances, providing accurate and reliable results in the comfort of your own home. Knowledge is power, so don't leave anything to chance. Again, that's testkitplus.com/professional hippies. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Professional Hippies. As promised, today we have a guest for you. If you don't know us, we're the Professional Hippies. I'm Colton. This is Dylan. And each week we like to talk about something. It could be professional. It could be hippie in nature. Think total eclipse coming up, which if that's something that you are excited to, what is it, Dylan? Is it replenish your moon stars? Cleanse your
That's what we like to call it. Make
bathe
yourself
your
feel
crystals.
better.
We're going to have an episode on that. But today's episode, we have a special guest, the one and only Ammar. Assad, how you doing, brother? Welcome. And if you needed like a quick little, hey, let's run down who he is, what he's about. Ammar and I go way back, and I'm super excited maybe to recap like that kind of brief synergistic moment in time where the universe kind of warped together. But Ammar is a serial entrepreneur, mentor, coach, incredible husband, kind of jealous. Maybe I'd want to be his husband one day. Definitely one of his kids. But he hosts an incredible podcast, a host of the Leaders Life podcast, one of the top podcasts in the world, top 2% to be exact. So, hey, other than that, Ammar, how you doing, buddy?
Colton, Dylan, thank you so much for having me on. I am ecstatic. We're just even before you hit play, recorder, we're just jamming out, laughing, having a good time. I'm just doing amazing, being able to see your beautiful ginger beard face and being able to talk to Dylan. So yeah, I'm hashtag blessed, brother.
Hashtag blessed. How does it feel to hashtag be on the other side of the mic? Like you're used to interviewing people.
Yeah,
right?
You know what? This is more like I love the interview. I love to connect, but this is great because I also like to make sure, like, like you're a big factor, and I know we'll get into this of like this even journey of me starting a podcast, and it all started, with you. Just like we'll jump into it. But the thing about the podcast is, as you know, I love me to talk. I love to pick up people. I love to give people hope. And when I am interviewing somebody in a podcast, sitting on on your side. The goal here is to make sure that, number one, the person who's struggling or the person who's questioning it, you're able to answer it. And being on this side, I'm just excited to hopefully, if I can just help one person or give value to anything, dude, my job is done here. Or just make you both laugh, then I'm good to go.
You've already done that. So, in one of your goals, you've delivered, buddy.
Podcast over. Great seeing you guys.
See ya.
Done.
I think that's the cool part because I get to see really kind of like the other side of your development as a leader, as even like a dad and a husband. So I've seen kind of like the vulnerable transformation part. I don't know that I really got to see like the stickiness that you've like told me about and been vulnerable with, like balancing being a dad, a husband, business, all that kind of good stuff. So it kind of fill me in on like, let's just to help the audience out. Like if you had to give kind of like a brief discography of, what you did with sports, how that translated to business, and then eventually getting into the coaching realm, how we met, like sum that up, just kind of give people like a little bit of texture of who you are, where you're coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, my name is Ammar and I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. And from there, was able to, go to elementary school there, middle school there, high school there, where I was able to play baseball and football. Those were my two jams, and did really well in football. I mean, both of them, football and baseball specifically, and able to have some opportunities and was able to play and sign with a professional team. And then 10 days into it, I was like, peace. They actually not me. They were like, peace. Damaged goods. You're not where you're not able to throw 95 miles an hour, because true story, I threw, because I never had heat, but I threw dude, I threw the hardest ball ever, and it was like 82 miles an hour, and they're like, what a sick changeup. I'm like, motherfucker, I just threw my arm out. That was my fastball. So, but anyway, that didn't work out, and 17, 18 years old, and then all of a sudden, I didn't know what else to do in my life. And, we spoke about it a little bit, immigrant parents, my dad's worked 14, 15-hour days, and I didn't know what success was. Sports didn't work out for me. So then I ended up working with my dad's businesses, and then from there getting into, the travel industry. Once again, excelling in everything that I did, always worrying about whether or not I am good enough. Even in every job, every relationship, it was always question about whether or not I was good enough. And it all stemmed to the failure that I've had, earlier in my life with sports. And then you fast forward to, where you and I connected, where 2020, COVID, and I was, just kind of lost. The travel industry shut down, didn't know what I was doing, didn't know what I wanted to do. Then, heard an ad on a podcast, and I said, you know what, I've always wanted to be a coach. I've coached sports. I do this, I do that. Let me give it a whirl. And then I get a phone call from a gentleman by the name of Colton that's on the other side of this microphone over here, on the side of the recording. And after we got off the phone, I said, yes, I want to join this program. And then as soon as we hung up, I said, fuck, I'm going to call this motherfucker and cancel. I can't. This is crazy. What I got 4 kids. I got a business. I don't know when it's going to come up. I didn't know what it was, but for some reason I legitimately picked up my phone and was going to call him back. And it was a Florida number or whatever it was at the time. I remember clearly. And I was about to click it, but I was like, no, because sometimes when you click it and hang up, they'll see that you called. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put it down. Whatever. Gotta go do this.
No one would have blamed you, though. I'm just letting you know.
So anyway, I know, right? Cultivating some emails. Fuck you at, but I was thinking, even there's things that go through your head, should I dispute my credit card? There was a lot of thoughts after that. Yes, and I said no. You know what? I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna stick to this. And then you fast forward. I crushed it at the program, and then I ended up working for the program where Colton and I decided to connect, and we're still brothers and friends till this day. And this was 3.5, 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
Right. It's insane how it was. And then, from there, it's pretty cool because, I was able to work on myself and realize that, this whole not good enough situation was a part of every aspect of my life. As I said, I put it in my children, I put it in my family, in my, my work, where I was working 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And, after being apart and working on myself, being around, amazing people, I was able to now work minimal, be able to help coach the world, be able to be a, amazing father, or try to be at least an amazing father, a decent husband, and, good friends. So that's kind of where I'm at. And here we are, jamming out.
Yeah, man. I think there's a lot of humble pie in there too, because seeing the results that you helped other people get, especially when I was selling that program, you're such a selfless leader. And I think that even in that, I watched you have to paint new boundaries. You're like, hey, I understand now I'm good enough. And then everyone's like, yeah, you are. Trying to get too much of your time. So it was like watching the pendulum kind of swing really far the other direction. And I think for the nature of this podcast, at least, it's that's kind of an interesting dynamic to explore, is kind of the journey of purpose. And then you're like, okay, hey, you discover I don't really need to seek external validation. And your results were wild. That was one of the most incredible result paths I've seen as someone stepping into coaching. So, to let everyone know on the other side of this, we don't have to get in specifics, but a metric fuck ton of income was generated while also watching you ramp down things that weren't serving you, watching you delegate, put in systems, SOPs in your business, and overall, like the reflection from your wife was like really cool to hear.
Well,
You know.
I appreciate that, and a lot of it comes, from the like when I joined the program or even everything that I do, I feel that like if you are excelling in the program, I should not be upset. And there was a lot of that energy, and I've always had like the saying of like clapping for others does not take away from your success, you know. And I feel that some people are like, oh shit, like Colton's crushing it right now, I'm not going to do well. And it's just like, no, like you want to support that people, and you don't see that anymore. It's more a lot of like that hate love, that like, oh shit, like Ammar's doing well in this program, like what the fuck, like what am I doing wrong? I can't do it because he's doing that. And I just feel like a lot, like there's just a lot more. There's a lot more. What's to say? Just a lot more cookies in the jar, man. There's a lot more opportunities out there, and not just as I said, clapping for others. Other people to be successful does not affect your success. Rooting for them, and that was just something that I was very passionate about, to just let everybody know, no, like root for each other, because that's the way the energy works. That's the way the world works, and I mean, the universe is just like karma. And the saying is you never go broke giving. And I was raised by a dad that was the most selfless person in the world, that would give the shirt off his back. And everything that I've seen him do, working 14 hours a day, never complained. As a dad, try to be there as much as he could for us. And I just think that, yeah, for me to help, to be there and support, I'll say support, the people that were part of the community. It was more about like because once again, like at that time I didn't have that much going on, and it was like I'm hearing these people shit on themselves, and that right there, like when people shit on themselves, Colton and Dylan, like you see that it's self-sabotage, and that was just something that I did my whole life. So it was more about like I saw me in them about that situation, and I'm just like, you can fucking do it. So it was more of like a rah like, what's holding you back? Why are you not, like, what are you doing that you think you're doing right? What do you think you're not doing correctly? And then from there, just kind of assess it. And as I said, like give them that little piece of hope. And yeah, so yeah, I appreciate that love, Colton. But yeah, I just feel that it's not, it shouldn't be competition in a world where people are trying to help people. I don't like that. It's you got to try to pick more. We need more people like that out there in the world. So discouragement and things are going to, there's going to be obstacles in your life, and it's just more about who's able to, be able to stick through it or throw in the towel. And the ones who wanted to just stick through it just a little bit, I was there to support them. And that's kind of the way it works. You gotta want it a little bit. Like I always say, you need the will. Like you need to have, I can teach skill all day long, but if you're not going to provide the will, like, no, thank you. Like, I'm not going to waste my time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the key ingredient there, right? It's like you don't need to know the how, you need to know the who. The who is going to show you the what and the how.
Yep.
You just got to be willing to do.
Nailed it. That's exactly what it is. And the problem is that a lot of people, they have this skill, though. It's like a lot of fucking talented people out there. It's just the fact that, are they willing to do the work? Are they willing to be okay hearing no? Are they okay to say that, hey, you know what? Like, I've been on 17 enrollment calls and I've heard no, and they just stick through it. It's just, and I mean, that, as cliche as it sounds, it's like the more no's you get, no, the word no is just, it's not no. What is it, Colton? It's
quit?
Just, huh?
What?
The objection in sales. It's not no. It doesn't mean no. It means
it's one step closer to a yes. That's all.
Some shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But regardless of what it is, it's whatever the heck that quote is. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking when you said that, I'm like 17 enrollment calls and you're not closing. It's like, you should quit.
Think you should get out of here. There's the door. I need you to leave.
Amazon's looking for some jobs. Why don't you? I think Amazon's a good fit for you.
There's a Starbucks I really like going to. You can.
Like one of the things you said earlier, I thought was funny is because I had this happen on a call the other day. We're in the closing tank, if you will, and she was like, I don't really feel crazy comfortable give him my credit card because, we just met. And I was like, hey, totally get it. And do you realize like how big credit card companies are? She was like, yeah. I was like, and the lawyers, they have, right? So like if I was trying to scam you, pretty liable to those guys. She's like, oh, good point. And the fact that's not actually your money, it's their money. Just saying, if we were scamming, be taking their money. Like literally,
you explained it.
You have no obligation. She's like, oh yeah, that's actually a really good point. I'm like, I can keep going here. I've lost 13 cards in a year. 1 year, 13 cards. So pretty familiar with the process. She's like, all right, got it.
Should probably take care of your credit cards, buddy.
God, that is.
I was 22, dude. It was a wild time to be alive. But like, I don't understand when people get weird about their credit cards. I'm like, it's not your money. You can dispute it at any time.
Man, I just had some random purchase, talking about that, some random purchase from India. Like it was like $4.91. And, so I got to see what the heck was, but then the crazy part is it's $4.91, right? And then you call the credit card company and then they shut down the whole card. $4.91, and you got some bills that are coming out of that card or whatever. You got to do that whole.
Yeah. Well, granted, that is the annoying part for sure. Totally get it. That's the only resistance I have to giving my credit card number out. Other than that, like if someone stared me in the face and was like, hey, I'm going to take your card real quick, go buy some jewelry, maybe a new pair of pants. Like, can you get me a coffee before we do that? Just real quick, just so I have like the last, just say you bought the coffee. Like I'll report it.
Pretty clever though, bro. It's really, really clever. But yeah, no, people are. I mean, especially because let's be real. Like the fraud has increased tremendously. Like I am getting an email or a text message about somebody trying to get into my social media, somebody trying to get into bank accounts, somebody trying to get into fucking my grocery app. Like it is getting out of hand. My Uber, somebody tried to get in my Uber. Like I had to change all the passwords and all this stuff. But it's like, I mean, you just pray that they didn't charge anything, so then you can just continue to use it. Like it's just like, like catch
I think about that all the time. I'm like, I want to change my number because I get probably like 7 or 8 robocalls a day. It's just annoying.
Now, 20 it's election year. That's why you're going to get a lot more as the months come, and that's just it. And then the thing about it is, when you see potential spam, do not pick up, because when you pick up, they wait that 1 second, and then they let everybody know this dude picks up, and then 20 times more. So just decline.
Dylan, you strike me as the kind of guy who'll pick up a spam call just to see what's going on.
Every now and then, if I'm bored, I'll mess with them.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. Like I'll pick it up and just. Because I get so many spam calls already. I have an old number from all the way from high school, so I'm going to get spam calls anyways, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like good old 850. So, like, I'll just pick it up and be like, "You like that bacon boy?" Like, just, they're like, "What?" Be like, "You're calling me about them loans? How about you like that bacon boy?"
But I had somebody wand me during the Super Bowl. Somebody took the wand and was able to get, the wand where it's like they scan you. Where they're able to get access. I got wand and $2,000 taken out of my account from that little wand out there in a food truck. I was waiting online on a food truck, and somebody straight up freaking striped me and got my info.
Did you get the money back?
I got it back right away. So that's exactly what, as you said to the lady, like, you can just call back and get it back right away. But it was just so, and the crazy part that bothered me about the whole thing was the bank wasn't shocked. They're like, oh yeah, you got swiped that way. No problem. We see that it wasn't swiped. You're good to go. Take about a couple of days, get it back in your account. And I was like, fuck. And they said it's getting common, and just watch, check.
I should have done that after Vegas. They've been like, what happened?
About it. I really thought about it.
Something happened out there.
Well, Vegas has cameras everywhere,
Oh, yeah. Took that time I got thrown out of a casino because they thought I was counting cards. I was just like, I don't even know how to fucking do that.
You're like, I don't even know how to count.
Dude, I was just like, yeah. No, it was in a casino in Lawton, Oklahoma. And I was sitting over there, and it was in that movie. That movie came out, that Winter Chicken Dinner. I forgot what the movie was.
21.
21. And you're sitting on there, and when I tell you, this casino also looked like a prison cell, aka
those are my favorite.
Yeah, it was.
You don't get free drinks; you just get discounted drinks.
No fucking discounted drinks. You get the pregnant waitress walking up to you and saying, "The bar's over there if you want something," and you walk in there, and then automatically get emphysema as soon as you walk in, and
Yeah.
you're feeling all that smoke right there. But yeah, shout out to everybody in Oklahoma. So yeah, my wife had family that lived in the Wichita Falls, Texas, which is a Air Force base out there. And we were like, oh, the border of Oklahoma isn't too far. Let's go out there. So we went up there, and I'm sitting on the poker table, and I'm asking questions like how many decks, because it didn't look like it looked like we were at a buddy's basement at a parent's house, my buddy's basement out there, just didn't seem kind of like legit.
Yeah.
Asking. So I'm looking at the where they deal the card, where they
The shoe.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm looking at it, and I'm just trying to think, like, how many decks of cards is that even? So I'm just looking, and I'm looking at the cards and stuff. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just trying to see how many decks are out there. And they're like, that doesn't matter. I'm like, yes, it does, because, they're like, just play the game. I'm like, okay. And then I saw that, and I'm like, I haven't seen a king in a while. So then I'm saying this like out loud, like there's no madness to there's no method to this madness. And then all of a sudden, a guy walks up to me. Once again, probably the baby daddy of the pregnant waitress. He came up to me. He came up to me looking like Peter Griffin, and he was just like, "We gotta get you out of here. You're playing games, counting these cards." And I'm just like, I don't even know how to do that. Like,
were you winning?
Were you crushing it?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't even playing. I was not even playing. It was like my brother-in-law, my cousin, like somebody was playing, but it wasn't me. I was just trying to figure out, because it didn't look like poker. And I'm not no poker player, but I played poker, and I'm just like, it just doesn't seem at all the way they were dealing, the way it was. I was just like a 2-2-1, 2-2-1. Like, it was just very unorthodox. And I was just like, it was more like, this is kind of my face. What's going on?
They're probably all methed out too.
And then all of a sudden, Peter Griffin threw me out, and that was it.
Man, if you ever want to watch some money burn, let's go play poker together.
Oh, yeah. I always call it a charity. Every time I got to go out there and do some type of a card game, it's just like, yep, I got to go donate to charity. Be home in a little bit.
By the way, I wanted to transition here, but I was thinking, random thought. I mean, I really don't like the Pfizer commercials and stuff. I don't know why. I'm just like, I can't stand it. But for whatever reason, Ozempic is really like kind of my new M&M brand, where I'm like, I don't really prefer M&Ms, but I love seeing the M&M logo everywhere. So I'm kind of digging seeing the Ozempic. Like, if we could get like a Ozempic branded casino table, that'd be pretty sick.
Is that the thing that everybody's putting on their arm, and then they're losing a shitload of weight? Is that the one?
I don't know if it goes on your arm or in your arm.
Oh, well,
but it definitely goes in you.
But is that the one that people are like dropping weight like crazy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's like the new.
It's a new miracle drug. I'm telling you, it's like we'll look back in 10, 15 years and be like, do you suffer from mesothelioma? Have you taken Ozempic? It'll be kind of one of those things.
I don't know. The new Jenny Craig. Like, I mean, I feel like anybody that wants to lose weight now, they're just going over there and getting it. And I just hope that, like, just like you said, I'm hoping it doesn't cause long-term damage, because people are using it for the wrong reasons. But
do you really care though about the long term?
Right.
If you get the satisfaction,
you know what?
now,
I truth be told, I normally wouldn't. Now that I have children, it's like a whole different mindset. It's like, shit, I would have probably fucked with that when I was younger. Shit, like I would do that. And then it's like, you think about it, and your kids were little versions of you. So you're like, oh. Yeah. So that's kind of
like the vaping with kids right now is off the charts. Like 12, 13, 14-year-old kids with the vapes. That's wild.
Insane. It's absolutely insane. And it's getting on. Another thing, another long term, in 10 years from now, they're like, did you smoke, this brand? And, are you coming with that?
They're gonna be like, did you smoke this brand? You're like, damn, I should have smoked the other brand.
No, I'm like, yes, I did.
That was the wrong one.
An ad for a pin, like, not like this kind of like a standard ballpoint pin or whatever, right? But it, like, the marketing was so good for kids. Like, it had like little air bubbles, little thought bubbles. It was like, whoa, dude! And it was a cartridge for like where the top of the pin would go for vapes. And there's no shot you could tell that this is not a real. When it was a real pin, like, you could write with it too. You just popped off the top most part of the cap for the vape part, but the branding was like the same thing you'd see on a school pack of pens. It was
Oh,
called like, Vaporuni or something, but in the Sharpie style font. I was like, that's $1 million idea for sure. Take advantage of the youth while you can.
oh my God! Yes, send that link. Let's buy some stuff. Good.
How old are your kids?
My twins just turned 10, a 7-year-old and a crazy 5-year-old.
Oh, cool. That's fun ages. A lot of innocence still left right there.
I mean, I don't know if you want to call it innocence. It's definitely. I mean, granted, I love them
It's
to
like
death.
pure love.
You know what? And you got to say it's like disclaimer. Like I love them to death, but like they're
Killing you.
It's more of the now like keeping up with the Joneses. I feel like with the kids.
How so?
Okay, like sneakers.
Uh-huh.
I am 42 years old and I still haven't owned a pair of Jordans. But my son is 10 years old and he has a pair of Jordans. I don't know about you at 10, but I was wearing that like store brand, like $9.99, like
Hamdy down, yeah.
Same.
that was us. Like that's
Yeah.
where we grew up. We did not grow up by no means, comfortable. And now like today, it just seems that like it is a legit, like, you know how they say, like it's just a copycat, like just everything is because of the way they advertise, YouTube is like the best thing / the worst thing. YouTube helped my son Eli read at the age of 3. Like, so it's got its benefits, but there's the commercials that pop up, and then the kids are like, "Oh my God, this is what I want." So my son, my oldest son, Noah, plays football, basketball. Like he plays all the sports. So when he's watching these videos on there, he gets all these ads. So do their friends, and then his friends get those shoes, and then I got to get those shoes. My daughter just had a Taylor Swift party. The twins just had that party. Taylor Swift party, and it's just like photos and all this and all that, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I don't got Taylor Swift money. How the hell are we? Like it is so hard. It's definitely expensive because once again you're keeping up with thumbs up. He's keeping up with the Joneses, as I said, but like it's just a lot of trendy stuff that's beaten in their head today a lot more than it was when I feel we were growing up. It's just a total different game. And I don't like it.
More screens, right?
Dude, the screens are like, as I said, the best thing / the worst thing. There was a crazy fucking time where my twins were like young, and we had them on watching this Mickey Mouse thing on YouTube, and all of a sudden I see like it sounds like, oh yeah, Mickey Mouse, I love you, blah, 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 right? And then you walk behind and you see what the kids are watching, and Mickey Mouse is stabbing pregnant Minnie Mouse in the fucking belly with a knife. And it sounds like everything is all good. So the parents are thinking they're hearing everything good. And then you go by there and then you go there and you freak out and then you block it all and stuff. But you're like, people are just fucking crazy. Like you're going to go over there and do all that work to freak the shit out of a kid right now? Like crazy.
Yeah. But there is a bit of an art to it. Like I know this guy that would create really long soundtracks. Like he hacked the YouTube algorithm. So he would do like rain sounds or beach sounds, sounds of the forest. But about 3 or 4 hours in, like he did city sounds, he had like a drive-by shooting. People get shot, like the ambulance.
That's what it is. But yeah, like, that's what it comes down to. And it's just like you don't know what's reliable, what's not, what's good, what's not, and it's just one of those things. So we do a good job, though. I should say my wife does a really great job of controlling the screen time. Like she has like in her office, she has the same like computer like I do, like the iMac, and we have all the iPads on there for them, and she knows exactly how long they're on there, and she can cut it off.
What do you do a day? What's the
screen time? So during the week, she doesn't give it to them. We stopped before we did. So during the week now, today's their first day of spring break. They get it. They get it for 2 hours. We give them, so they got it split out. Most times they know that, so they won't use it. Like they'll use it in the morning and then they'll leave it alone and use it at night. But then there's days though, like it's our pacifier for them. Like sometimes I got a lot of shit going on, or I just want to chill and relax. I'm like, hey, you know what? Today's the day of just having fun and letting them go with that. But
yeah,
so we do that. But my wife does monitor everything that they do. Like it's like a full-time job with 4 kids, and we've been fortunate enough, and anybody listening who's parents and stuff, you can that are like YouTube or watching anything online, you can block anything that's not appropriate. And you can also watch and just see everything that they are observing. And
But isn't there something about how we grew up, the wild, wild west of just like our parents didn't know what was going on. You know, our parents didn't know what we were seeing. They didn't grow up in that world. So as soon as we got there, we're seeing heads being cut off, drive-by shootings, whatever, live leak. I mean, that was the best of times.
I sat in the back of a station wagon. I mean, my parents had a station wagon that we were tumbling up in the back of it, and sitting on my dad's lap driving, and no child seat. So yeah, like obviously a lot of safety stuff have come up, but yeah, like it is a whole different generation right now. I think
it's a certain point. I think right around 12 or 13 is where you just have very real conversations and start loosening up the screws. Because like 10, because of my brothers, I think I saw my first porn. At like 11 or 12, my brother had LimeWire and was downloading like the live leak, terrible videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it just being raised in a anarchy type of environment, like I think definitely helped to a point. But access to information the kids have these days, it's like if you're getting that dopamine drip at 6 or 7, like you're pretty fucked if that's just unchecked.
And that is the number one reason why we have our children in sports.
Yeah.
Number one reason is, number one, they're able to socialize. And number two, they're learning leadership. Number three, they're not relying on a device for their chore. And number four, they're playing outside. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that for me is very, very important. That they, I remember, go to Brooklyn, New York, go outside, play, come back inside later. My mom just shouts out, "Come inside." And we just came inside. And that's just what it is now. And sports did like help, structure and discipline and, be a good teammate. And that's right now why I think it's very important to have, all 4 kids into sports at this young age, or so they've been doing it since a young age, because they end up learning that, number one, that's more entertaining than, a device. And also they just they enjoy it. Like today, my son's got a game tonight. He's so excited about it. Like this morning, he's already got his cleats on. He's got his socks on. I'm like, dude, it's a preseason game. Like chill out. Like, he's so excited. And I'm like, I'm not going to take that away from him.
Yeah.
And the device will never give him that satisfaction because he's used to that. But when you have a child that's been on an iPad for 9-10 years, and then you try to put them in sports, and I've seen this, they don't enjoy it. They enjoy the device over the actual engagement and
being sedated.
That's scary.
Social interaction of sports, and it's sad. And I know, even like I'm coaching in 2 new leagues, and who's been behind the screen and who hasn't. Unfortunately, it's the ones that don't want to play. It's the ones that don't feel confident, and that's what kills me. Is sports creates confidence.
It's the kids that have the hump. They have that little hump right here. Yeah. That's a scary looking thing. You could tell the kids that are on iPads it's weird. It's like a little hump right here.
Yeah, and no eye contact. They don't look at eye contact. Yeah. They're like, it's just, as I said, I'm lucky that my wife
hunchbacks
is on top of this like crazy, because like she's seen how detrimental it could be if it is not monitored, and for us to just keep them engaged in sports, keep them engaged in just being active. They love it. Like, we're going to the mountains today. We got a hike planned tomorrow. Like we're very, very excited about like the way we're.
Do you find it harder in? Are you living in New York currently?
No. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Did you find that harder when you were like just being in I'm just curious because I grew up in Florida, in northern Florida, I mean, and I was in sports too. Wide open area, right? Florida's wide open, right? But Brooklyn, a few times I've been there, packed. You only have limited space to go out in parks and to go do anything. Did it seem harder to be able to do that in Brooklyn, or were you able to just do that and find spots?
It was all we knew. I grew up. I was born in '81, so I grew up in the '80s in Brooklyn, where it was the gangs, the fighting, and all that craziness. And Biggie Smalls used to pack at one of our relatives' grocery store. We used to pack groceries at one of our family contact. But no, I think we just worked what we had. We never had to like, oh, it's so crazy. It was more like, okay, we're gonna take this milk crate and we're gonna play basketball with it, and just didn't think twice about it. Like it was it was just very normal to just create shit and then make it work and not complain and bitch about it. Like, and it's just a completely different time right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was one thing I remember when my dad bought me a computer. I think I was 12 or 13. I did burn my eyeballs out with that computer, like playing with my friends, video games. But at the same time, we loved beating the shit out of each other, playing football, soccer, anything we get our hands on. And it was like when we did that, I think we would typically like do that first, be so blown out and tired, and then it's like, now let's go play video games until 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Parents force you to eat, and then you're like, all right, and then back from the top the next day.
But the video games weren't that addicting back then. Like I don't remember.
Yeah. No microtransactions and
yeah, like the Madden today. Like, you know, my son has Madden, and I look at it and I'm like, the Madden that we have, we couldn't play against each other back in the. It was just you would play against a computer, you would win, and then you would go on. But now it's kind of has like this, like you said it, I think dopamine, where like they just stay on it, they want to stay on it, and you win points, and you're able to get players like Barry Sanders and Walter Payton and all. If you just unlock all these amazing old school players, and so it's
back in the day it was like make it to the Super Bowl. Like that was the thing. You would like work. You'd play like a game or two a night, and it'd take you a couple weeks or a couple months or whatever, and like you got to the Super Bowl. You tell your buddies the next day, you're like, you won't believe it, I took the Browns to the Super Bowl.
There was levels back then. No? Like it was like you had goals, and you're like, all right, I got to this level, and eventually you just burn out, or you can't pass a boss, and you're like, I gotta put it down. Because sometimes you knew if you put it down,
what was the magazine?
And came back, you could
with
get
the cheat codes in it.
The cheat codes. I forgot the name of the magazine.
You know what I'm talking about, though? Like you couldn't get
I do know.
It wasn't like if you got stuck at the level. It wasn't like, hey, $4.99. We could just
bypass that.
There was this one kid in elementary school that would always have that magazine. His parents would buy it for him, and we would all just go there and just crowd him and be like, "Oh, this is how you fight Mike Tyson on Mike Tyson Punch Out. This code right here."
Yeah,
it would be like something like that.
Oh man, that really was. Cause I have the Madden or whatever on my phone, and it sucks. Like I was on a airport trip or whatever this past week, long flights and stuff, and I was trying my best to get into it, but I'm like, I even searched, I Googled for games I could buy, like just let me pay $20, $30. I didn't care. Just to like have the feel of what we're talking about, like not the slow dopamine, but like give me a challenge, let me work through levels or whatever. And every one of them said like in-app purchases. I'm like, I'll give you money. I'll give you $50 up front, cold hard cash, Bitcoin, whatever you want. Just make it go away.
But you want to know what though? You know what I've been using now, like religiously. I did it before this call. Is I bought the Meta. No, not the Apple visor, the actual Meta. You know what I'm talking about? The VR.
Apple Vision thing?
Not Apple Vision. It's like
the
the
Meta.
Apple Vision,
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the virtual reality Meta.
Okay. Yeah.
Meta World. Anyway, it's the Meta 3, and I got it for Christmas. And dude, it is as I box every morning. I am beating the shit out of the air, but pretending to be like I am fighting this guy every morning after a workout. And I am feeling like tough shit, walking around that I just beat this robot. But it is so real that you're able to get up there, get that energy out, get that like negative energy, toxic energy, whatever it is. And I do that almost every morning. I do it at least 5 days a week during the week. And it's so real. And that's going to be the way. Like these games, there's a football game where you're actually sitting there and you're throwing the football. And so, yeah, that's just...
That was a Black Mirror episode that just popped up in my head. That you're like, I wake up every morning, I beat the shit out of this guy, and I start off my day. And one day you're gonna end up in that thing in real life. That guy's gonna be like, you're in my world now.
Well, not if, by the way, because when it comes to like energy that you need every day, let me tell you about our buddies over at Magic Mind, because I think this could be the solution you're looking for if you're boxing every day. Okay, if you're like, man, I'm waking up and I ain't got the energy. Well, our buddies over at Magic Mind, I think, have really dialed it in. Here's the cool part. Actually, legitimately, Abby swears by it. I'm a big fan of it. It's all natural. I'm very caffeine sensitive. You can take it with caffeine, but it's there to increase mental acuity, focus, energy levels, all natural ingredients. Dylan, you gave it a go at trying to pronounce some of this stuff before. Things that you are familiar with, like cordyceps, lion's mane, ashwagandha.
Okay.
Other stuff that it's got good stuff in it. If you guys trust us, one, that's saying something about you, but two, head on over to magicmind.com. We have a really, really good promo code with them. If you go to magicmind.com/hippies20, you will get up to 56% off your subscription for 10 days. Is that what they agreed to contractually, Dylan? Something like that, right? You do lock in 20. Lock in 20 and show you guys I'm serious about Ammar getting the shit beat out of him, but not me. We drink our own dog food around here, or eat it. We have magical minds. Head over there right now. But while I'm doing this, finish it up.
Hippies 20, Magic Mind.
We took it. Joey and I took it this past weekend while we were having a good fun day, and just during the middle of it, I was like, "We're gonna need this little boost." Here you go.
I'm gonna definitely try
day.
it out. I've never tried it, and I will after this podcast go on there.
It actually tastes good too.
I do like lion's mane. I do it like once every 2 to 3 days. It's something that I don't take every day, and I feel like because I don't take it every day, it's amazing. And you already know, Colton, how I am. Like on just a regular, I'm go high energy, but it lets me focus with the high energy. So I couldn't imagine trying out this Magic Mind. So hippie 20.
The cool part is like, so you want to try it for multiple days as like a little bit of a compounding effect, but it doesn't like when I take it with caffeine, it kind of mellows the caffeine out for me, like L-theanine. So if you take L-theanine, that'll kind of drip the caffeine out. So I don't know if it has a similar effect to that. I do know though, even if you tried like on its own, it's really great for the energy levels.
I'll definitely give it a my family, we like, my wife and I are big fans of lion mane, so this is something that we'll try.
Have you grown your own before?
I'm sorry?
Have you grown your own lion's mane before?
Grown my own?
Yeah.
Fuck no, bro. I'm a city boy. I'm going to grow myself some lion mane.
Dude, you should check out a boomer bag. If you head over to northspore.com/professional hippies, it's actually true. Like, they do have these little grow bags, and they are an affiliate of ours, but you just order this box. It comes to you, and you just literally just cut open the box, and lion's mane mushroom will grow out of it.
And then what do you do with that? You just mash them
eat
up?
It.
And just
what are you talking about?
Like a portobello mushroom, like on a grill?
You could. Yeah, or you can, like, if you wanted to, like, put it in your food, whatever. I mean, it's a mushroom, so it's kind of, like, innocuous as far as taste goes.
Is it like, I mean, and, we can segue into this with mushrooms. Is it going to give you the same effect as what shrooms do? Because I've been hearing a lot of awesome stuff.
Not even... No.
Oh, no, never mind.
No, very different. Okay. It's like asking if you ate a human finger, would it make you grow another? Very different.
I've never tried it before, but I'll let you know.
You could. Yeah. You got plenty of kids. One of them surely would be willing to sacrifice a finger.
God, yeah. Just tell them right now. I'll get them.
You're going to play soccer, right? You don't need it. All right.
I'll get them an extra game on their iPad if they let me take their finger.
Yeah. Well, you might grow a small finger if it does work. So you might, you might want to go adult size on that one.
Oh, sweet. I'll go.
No, it doesn't. So like, you have to be intentional about going for a psychoactive mushroom to get that effect. Like 99% of mushrooms aren't going to do that. They'll either have some healthy benefit or just flat out kill you. One of the two.
Okay, well,
maybe somewhere in the middle. Maybe make you sick, but
isn't that funny with Earth?
I'll stick to then my Magic Mind if it's 20 and make sure that I.
Yeah, but lion's mane, so they have like lion's mane, turkey tail, oyster mushrooms. So you can, you just order this box. It comes already inoculated. You don't have to do anything. You just open the side of the box and cut it. So that's what creates what's called fresh air exchange, FAE. And then that's when the mushroom knows, like, it basically simulates, hey, the rain is done. Now we can come out and fruit. So then the mushroom starts fruiting right out of the box.
Oh, dang. Interesting, dude. Never even heard of that.
Mushrooms?
Ever. No.
Just regular ones you can eat?
No, like how you can actually, like, there's a boxes that you can grow lion mane. I did not know that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they kind of like do all the work for you.
Easy but hard to grow mushrooms. Like,
Yeah.
it's really easy but hard. Like the process when you're like, oh, that sounds like a easy process. Like nature, cool. Like water,
Yeah.
dirt. That's what happens. And then
I
you
know
do
somebody.
it, and
I
it
know
seems
someone who tried
hard.
to grow some, psychedelic mushrooms, and they got sick as fuck. Like they,
Really?
yeah, they. I don't think they did. I don't think they did it accurately. Not much.
I've heard that if they get, wasn't it Colton? If they start to get mold on it or something, but sometimes you don't notice it, and then you eat them, you can get sick from the mold on them.
Yeah. I mean, that's possible. It's like hard to do, kind of in a way.
No,
like,
this is how this person did it. Just to let you know, you know how people find seeds in marijuana, and they're like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna plant it." This was kind of the situation with the mushrooms.
Interesting.
And they planted it, and something came out, and they ate it and got extremely sick.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
So they just went out in nature and found one, and then used the spores from that.
Oh yeah.
If they did that, there's like a really high chance they ate not what was planted.
It was.
That's not really how mushrooms work. Like plants, yeah, but fungi.
No.
You go on the Appalachian Trail, you'll see after a good rain, you'll see thousands of different mushrooms out there, and you don't know which one's which.
Yeah,
you know those ones out there though, because it's not too far from us. I'm going to be out there anyway. Have some magic.
On the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, there's a ton of psychedelic species. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How do I know?
Typically blue bruising. So like you can bring a psychedelic identifier book.
Oh, okay.
So like if you brought a field guide out there, there's some mushrooms where like golden teacher, I wouldn't mess with that on the trail because it brown, similar cap, like similar stem. One will blues like purple blue, the other will do like a similar hue. So like I stay away from like golden teacher, but then you have like the Santa Claus mushroom, right? Red, white speckle.
A lot of that out there.
Yeah, but even that one, if you eat it not dehydrated, then or in a tea, it has a different element in it that like kind of mess with your stomach a little bit. So, but the big indicator for psychedelic mushrooms is bleeding, or bruising, because that's the actual that's the actual active ingredient. Why is it escaping me? But psilocybin.
I always try to play a game when I'm out there walking because I have sticks that I'll walk with out there, and you try to bang the mushroom as you're walking by it and to try to knock the spores out. But you got to do it gently while you're walking fast, or you'll knock knock it over. So you get like a gentle touch.
You hit the puff balls and they.
Are you actually using sticks, or are you using the ski poles?
I'm using sticks. Yeah, I use sticks. I'll use one or two. I got bad knees for sure, so I'll use a stick. Sometimes I'll use the ski poles though if I'm on a big backpack, like a week long, so they just fold up and stick them in the bag. But I like using a stick on the Appalachian. Oh yeah, if I can.
When are you guys going on your trip, Ammar?
Tonight.
Nice.
Tonight?
Yeah, so like my wife's actually gonna be leaving in about an hour or two, but I got the football game I got to coach tonight, and then my son and I are gonna go right after.
Cool.
Where y'all flying into?
We're driving because we live in Charlotte. It's just going to be a 2-hour drive up north to.
Oh, okay, perfect. Dude,
if you think about it, dude, they have really
awesome.
cool apps. Like, you're no shot you're gonna have service, but like if they have a mushroom identifier book or an app that works offline,
I'll download it when we get. I mean, there's Wi-Fi there. That's a good. I mean, I will. I will be sending you some messages over the weekend. Be like, what's this? What's this, Colton? What's going on?
I won't. Or
just take pictures as you go along. That's usually what I like to do, is take a picture of a cool one and look it up later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I gotta run back. I gotta pin it just in case it comes back like positive.
And sometimes, like, you look at fallen trees, you can look up into the log and you'll see like a whole mushroom growing up inside the log that you would never have known of if you didn't look up inside it.
Holy shit!
Yeah. They're everywhere, man.
It's a fun game. Just looking for them,
like collecting Pokemon in a way.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, that's
gotta eat them all.
It's so funny. Collecting Pokemon. My kids tried to do that. They had no idea what the heck they were doing. They were just like, "Yeah, this card is worth blah blah blah." So it says who? James. I'm like, how does James know? John.
Dude, I legitimately had a collection of probably $40,000 to $50,000 in Pokemon.
Did?
Yeah, my stepbrother sold them when we were in high school.
Jesus.
Fuck yeah. Anyway,
my parents thought Pokemon was the devil. Couldn't get it.
Kind of was. Kind of was. Kind of is.
Especially that Pikachu.
I think it's the most profitable franchise of all time.
I still don't even understand how. That's the crazy part.
It's simple. They just print cards. They made the same basic video game for decades. The cartoon. I mean, it was more profitable than Disney. Like they're crushing.
I don't think they're more profitable than Disney.
Like if you look at like the Mickey versus.
Are you talking about character to character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I mean, I'm making a pretty bold claim, but like I looked at the chart and it was like their margins are so high because like Disney, they have to put a lot of money into like what they're making, but Pokemon, it was just like they created something that worked and they didn't really change it. Like they didn't have to innovate a ton. It was just like print more cards, print more video games, or licensed.
Get those kids dopamine going. Give them more cards.
And this card that came out of the same printer is worth $10,000, and this one's worth 25 cents.
Yep. Yeah.
Still don't get it. Genius.
All right, boys. We got to land the plane though. So hey, Ammar, if people are gonna find you, where do they find you?
Oh, they can find me at right now. I took a little hiatus from my podcast because, as you know, we spoke about earlier, family is everything to me, and I wanted to spend the whole time with my family, make sure I had that work-life balance going. But I am going to start recording again, and Colton was a part of it as well. We'll love to have Dylan there. It's the Leaders Life podcast. It's going to be in the show notes, and that's pretty much all it is. You find me on social media. I took down my landing pages, took down the websites because I just, as I said, wanted to be very present with the family. And now that football season's here, just as I said, I'm trying to make sure that I take care of my priorities first. And I love the podcast, but it's going to start getting back going in about a month right now. So is kind of the launch date again, the second season. But I'm really, really stoked about that. And nice. It's all about, as I said, just pumping people up. It's kind of like pretty much it's going to be what I send you, like voice notes, Colton. It's going to be those type of podcasts.
Nice. Well, if you need to pump up, head over there. Whether it's going to be a positive one or one that just makes you feel, some kind of way. Hey, we love you, Ammar. And
thank you, Ammar. It's been
thank
awesome,
you guys
man.
out there. If you enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, all the things. See you.